Nityamachyutapadam Bhujayukmarutpapyamohatasthavitaraani Trunaya Mene Asmadguru Bhagavatosya Vaika Sindhoho Ramanyasya Charanau Sharanam Prapadye Yatpadam Bhurudhyana Vidhasta Shesha Kalmashaha Vastutam Upayatoham Yamuneyam Namamitam Masabhaji. The Traka of Krishna, we have completed 13 chapters of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Today we will try to begin and end the 14th chapter, hopefully. The 14th chapter is about the division of the three gunas. What are the three gunas and how do they prevail upon the Jiva Rashis due to the Sambandha of Jivatmas with Prakriti. I am reading the introduction of Sri Ramanuja, page 460. Trayodashe Prakriti Purushayoho Anyonya Samsrishtayoho Swarupa Yathatmam Vijnaya Amanittvadibihi Bhagavad Bhaktya Anugrihitehi. In the 13th chapter, the mutual srishti of the mutual dependence of Prakriti and Purusha and their nature, exclusive nature, those were taught, and also how along with the Amanitva means this lacking ahankara, etc. And with Bhagavad Bhakti, Bandhatu Muchyate iti uktam. How can one get rid of Bandha? Through the gunas coupled with Bhagavad Bhakti. Tatra Bandha Hetuhu Purva Purva Sattvadi Gunamaya Sukhadi Sangaha iti cha abhihitam. There means in the Anyonya Samsrishti, what is the reason for the Bandha? That is the Purva Purva Sattvadi Gunamaya Sukhadi Sangaha. Sangaha means attachment. Attachment towards what? Attachment to the gunas and their actions. I mean, leading to the past lives. It's a chain. So on it's a cycle basis, the attachment keeps on growing. Karanam Gunasangovasya Sadasat Yoni Janmasu. So this was the 21st verse, second half of the 21st verse. The reason for birth in good Janma or good families and or other good births and not so good births is the gunas basically. So this chapter, Krishna is going to explain the nature of the three gunas. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Param Bhoya Pravakshyami Yananam Yanam Uttamam Yajñatpa Munayas Sarve Param Siddhimito Gataha. Param Bhuyaha Pravakshyami. I am going to tell you again Jnananam Jnanamuttam. Another kind of knowledge which is supposed to be the best of all forms of knowledge, because this is more practical for us people like us, because talking about upasanas etc. is beyond our reach, maybe as beginners. But what is that which is confining us? What is that which is limiting us? That we need to know first. So having known this, the rishis or the sages of the past have attained perfection or have attained moksha eventually. Now again is Krishna is sharing the fruit of the knowledge, the phalam. Idam jnanamupashritya mamasadharmyam agataha sarge pinopajayante pralayena vyatanti cha. So resorting to this knowledge, mama sadharmyam agataha, those who have attained this knowledge have become similar to me, have acquired a nature which is similar to mine, and therefore they are not born again, and they do not suffer during dissolution. So which means this is an indication that the moksha pradesha, The moksha sthala is beyond the realm of creation. So when being there, they are not affected by the creation and dissolution that's happening in the Prakriti Mandala. Third verse, Mamayo Nirmahad Brahma Tasmin Garbham Dadhamyaham Sambhava Sarvabhutanam Tato Bhavati Bharata. If you read the superficial meaning of this verse, Mama Yonir Mahad Brahma, my womb is a great Brahman. In that I lay the germ or the seed, the bija. From that, Arjuna, is the birth of all beings. So if we read the superficial meaning, we should not get carried away and think Brahman to be of a person like a human being or so. No. Here that Mahat Brahma it refers to Prakriti. It refers to Prakriti. We will go to Ramanuja's commentary. It is very important here. So Krishna says that Prakriti is mine. I own it. It belongs to me. At the time of creation, what we do is that I make way for the combination of the Jivatmas and the Prakriti Mandala. Therefore, that is the birth. What is birth now? Coming together of Achetana and Chetana Vargas, that is birth. And because of my Sankalpa, they are born. I'm in the commentary. Mama means Madiyam Kritsnasya Jagato Yoni Bhutam Mahat Brahma Yadu Tasmin Garbham Dadamya. Kritsnasya Jagataha Yoni Bhutam. For the entire creation, entire world, whatever is the source, that is the Mula Prakriti. In that I lay the germ of creation. Bhumira Aponalo Vajuho Kammano Buddhi Repacha Ahankaram Viti Yamme Bhinna Prakriti Rashnadha. We saw this verse in the 7th chapter. So that Prakriti is not homogeneous. In a sense, it contains many tattvas within. So these are the tattvas which we saw in the 7th chapter. Bhumi, Apaha, Analaha, Vayuhu, Kam Akasha, Kam means Akasha, Manaha, Buddhi, etc. Iti nirdishta achetana prakritihi mahadahankaradi vikaranam karanataya mahad brahma iti uchate. Why it is called as mahad brahma? You should not think that it is greater than Brahman. By just reading the word mahad brahma, Krishna says the reason, or Ramanuja says the reason, that because it gives birth to all these things, mahat, ahankara, etc., all the vikaras, the transformations born out of prakriti, it is called as mahad brahma. It is not Ramanuja's imagination or his own thinking to make the word Brahma mean Prakriti. Shruti already does it. Quotes Ramanuja, Shrutau api kvachit prakritihi api Brahma iti nirdishyate. Yes sarvagya sarvagata yasya jnanamayam tapaha tasmad etat Brahma namarupamannam cha jayate. So, in the Mundakopanishad, there is a reference to Prakriti as being mentioned as Brahma. Itasvanyam Prakritim Vidhime Param Jiva Bhutam. In the 7th verse again, Ramanuja was explaining, Krishna was explaining about the lower Prakriti and higher Prakriti. There also the Chetana Punjarupa ya Prakriti Nirdishta Sa Yeha Sakala Prani Bijataya Garbha Shabdena Uchyate. So Chetana Punjarupa means that what is the word? The mass of conscient cells, the Atmas, those are mixed in the Prakriti. They are so mixed. Just before the class, I was watching a video, the YouTube. It was, I put it in the status. I don't know if you check status messages. It's a wonderful video which shows the microorganisms that live with us in this body. We think we are alone in this body. We are not alone. The video says the microorganisms, the count of the microorganisms is much more than the stars in the galaxy, it says. So it's amazing. With the help of technology, we are able to view all these things. Hope that video is real and all the whatever information is shared is real. It only gives us more and more wonder as to, in fact, it triggered a thought also. Is there some concept between life and non-life? Is there something between Atma and Prakriti, which has both the nature? It's, of course, Shastra doesn't say, but these kind of findings makes one wonder if whatever the things we call the virus, etc., are they all real Jivatmas or they are caught in between? So Anyway, the discussion is not going into that, but yeah. So the Chetana Punja Rupa ya Prakriti Nirdishta sa iha sakala prani bijataya garbha shabdena uchyate. So because the garbha, what it means is that all the forms of life they come out in this combination. Tasmin achetane yoni bhute mahati brahmani chetana punja rupam garbham dadami. So in that, let us say the pot or whatever, that achetana bhuta prakriti, Bhagavan, or Paramatma, it places all the Chetana Rupa. But the combination depends upon their past karma, not on the will of or Sankalpa of Bhagavan. That we have to understand. Achetana Prakritiya Bhoga Kshetra Bhutaya Bhoktar Varga Punja Bhutam Chetana Prakritim Samyojayami Ityartha. So the Prakriti is actually Bhoga Kshetra. And the Jivatmas are all Bhoktar Varga. So I just make, Krishna says, I just make them to come together. Tataha tasmat prakriti-dvaya sanyogat mat sankalpa-kritat sarva-bhutanam brahmadi stambha-paryantanam sambhavo bhavati. And after that, with the coming together of the two prakritis, lower prakriti and higher prakriti, that is prakriti and jivatmas, all forms of being they come out, they come into existence. From Brahma to the lowermost, we can say, actually the stambha refers to grass some places, and also the smallest particular creation, we can say. Then not only this, then we should not think that whatever births happen after that, that is not dependent on Paramatma. So Krishna clarifies, everything depends on my Sankalpa only. Sarvayo Nishapaunteya Mutaya Sambhavantiyaha Tasam Brahma Mahadhyoniraham Bija Pradapita. So whatever forms are produced in any womb for that matter, Arjuna, the Prakriti is the greater womb and I am the sowing father. But here again we have to understand that the whatever birth that happens on a day-to-day basis, or a secondly basis, it all depends on the karma of the Jivatmas, but Bhagavan facilitates that karma to come into action. Now, page 464, 5th verse. What is the reason for birth? Sattvam rajastama iti gunah prakriti sambhavaha nibadhananti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Arjuna, there are three gunas in this prakriti, Sattvam, Rajas and Tamas. They belong to the prakriti. Prakriti means they are present in the body also, in the mind, everywhere they are present. Whatever is prakrita, whatever belongs to prakriti, these gunas will be there. What they do, they bind the Atma, Jivatma into the Sharira. These three, Krishna is going to describe what are the nature, what is the nature of three gunas, how do they bind. So we will see them in the next coming shlokas. 6th sloka, Tatra Sattvam Nirmalatvat Prakashakamana Amayam Sukha Sangena Badhrati Jnana Sangena Chanagha. The Sattva Guna, it is Nirmala, it is pure. And Prakashakam Anamayam. Prakashakam here means it's not the physical illumination, but it is the Buddhi illumination. When we have, again, Krishna is going to say in the coming shlokas, when we have Sattva Guna, how can we know if somebody has Sattva Guna or not? Then he would be very sharp in understanding. His awareness would be at the highest level. Whatever is being said, you will be able to grasp it quickly. You would be happy. You would be happy, and you would be free from diseases. Anamayam. Sukha Sangena Badhrati Jnana Sangena Chanagha. It binds the Jivatma to happiness and knowledge that pertains, that is in general, not the Adhyatma Jnana, but in general. We find, interestingly, many people who have studied so much in the Laukika testing. There are some professors working in Harvard and IIT and IIM, so many big institutions, always behind knowledge, wanting to know something and being happy. But we do not know if they're spiritually elevated, but at least in the Laukika fields, they possess, we can say they possess a lot of Sattva Guna, because of which they're able to acquire so much of knowledge and happiness also, we can say. But to be free of the other three gunas, that is very important here, that which is Krishna is going to mention later. Okay, So by being bonded with or by being attached to Sattva Guna, again it's going to lead to rebirth only. Okay. Now, seventh verse. Rajora agatmakam vidhi trishna sanga samudbhavam tannibadhnati kaunteya karma sankena dehinam. Rajas is ragatmakam. We will see the commentary of Ramanuja about the Trishna and the Raga and Sangha also. Tan nibadhnati kaunteya. So it binds, Rajoguna binds the Jivatma with these natures like Rajas, Raga, Trishna, Sangha, etc. And Karma Sankera Dehinam. So the Jivatma is attached to work or is karma because of the Rajoguna. Rajo Ragatmakam, Raga Hetu Bhutam. So Ragatmakam means it becomes a reason for the Raga, means cause for the Raga. Rago Yoshita Purusha Yoho Anyonya Spritha. So here Raga Ramanuja says it means the sexual desires. Trishna Sangha Samudbhavam, Trishna Sangha Yoho, Udbhavasthanam, Trishna Sangha Hetu Bhutam, Ityata. Trishna means thirst. Thirst is not not the literal water related thirst, but a thirst to experience objects of desire, and Sangha, because of which attachment is also there. Trishna Shabdadi Sarva Vishya Spriha, says Ramanuja. What is Trishna? Trishna is the desire towards, Spriha towards all the Vishyas like Shabda, Rupa, Rasa, etc. Sangha Putra Mitradishu Sambandishu Samshlesha Spriha. So Sangha is, we can say, with sentient beings, and Trishna is with insentient. It is more material, and Sangha is with, we can say, the other forms of life basically. Tatha Dehinam Karmasu Priyasu Spriha Janana Dvare Nibadhnati. Therefore, one needs to do a lot of work. The more we are attached, the more we need to work to maintain them, right? The maintenance is the most bothering aspect today. It is easy to acquire a house today. It is easy to acquire a car. It was easy to earlier to acquire a fridge, refrigerator, AC, etc., etc. But because it is easy to acquire, we acquired so much now. But the moment we spend 3 to 5 years with them, they all begin to press for attention. So we are not able to bear the maintenance cost. Not only the cost, but also the process to finding a person to keep them in good condition. Then suddenly they go bad, and then we have to buy new ones. So because if we have the vairagya to be away from them, see, look at the amount of energy and time and money you would have saved, but we don't have that. So by possessing all these objects, and so that leads to attachment. Yeah. Okay, this is how Rajoguna binds the Jivatma by pushing that Jivatma to more action because he has got a lot of desires. So to fulfill the desires, the person has to work more, which is more evident practically also for us. Next, 8th verse. Tamastvajnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehina pramada alasya nidrabhistam nibadhnati bharata. Tama is ajnanaja. It is born of ajnana. Tamas is born of ajnana. You will see Ramanuja is going to say what are the explanations for these terms. Mohanam sarvadehinam. It kind of deludes all the embodied atmas. Pramada means negligence. In Tamil, pramadam means super. We say pramadam in Tamil, but in Sanskritam, pramada means negligence, erroneous. Alasya means indolence. Nidra means sleep. So these are the effects of tamoguna. They delude a person with these things. Jnanatu anyati iha ajnanam abhipretam. So ajnana means not the absence of jnana, but something different from the right knowledge. What is that? Jnanam vastu yathatmya avabodha tasmat anyat tad viparya jnanam bhattamah. Tad viparya jnanam. So the tamo people who are dominant with tamaguna, they will understand exactly the opposite manner. They will mistake objects, they will mistake the understandings. Jnana is vastu yathatmya avabodha. Jnana is the right understanding of the real nature of objects. But those who are dominated with tamoguna, they can understand in the viparita manner. Tamaha tu vastu yathatme viparita vishaya jnanam mohanam sarvadehena. You can say the classic example is snake and the rope. So those who are with sattva guna, let us say, they will be able to identify snake or the rope very clearly. But people with tamo guna, let us say, they will mistake snake for a rope or rope for a snake because they don't have the right. They don't have the sattva guna. They are deluded by tamo guna. Tat tamah pramaadalasya nidra hetutaya tadvarena dehinam nibadnati. So tamo guna binds a person through these three: pramada, alasya, nidra. Pramadaha kartavyat karmanah anyatra pravritti hetubhutam anavadhanam. Avadhanam means attention. Anavadhanam means inattention or lack of attention. If you read Sanskrit dramas, you will find this avehi, avahitam va, avahitam, like this words will be there. Those are all avadhanam means attention. Avahitosmi, like this words will be there. So kartavyat karmanah anyatra. There will be a task on hand, but the buddhi will not be focusing on the task, but will be focusing on something else. When we interact with this world, we can really understand and appreciate the effect of the gunas. With the people we meet, some are normally, tamo guna will be there everywhere, not to differentiate people. But if you look at the people at the bottom of the pyramid, we find them to be often dominated by tamo guna. They won't be able to think much. They won't be able to even get the instructions correctly. That's a challenge we have. We say something and then they think they understand and then they go off and then come out with the wrong action. Then we had to explain this is not the way. Why? Because the tamo guna is so dominant, it does not allow people to be attentive and understand things. Alasyam karmasu anarambha swabhavaha stabdhata iti yavat. Laziness is like not getting the inertia, not getting enough energy to begin a task. Later on we will see like procrastination. Purushasya indriya pravartana shrantiya sarvendriya pravartana uparatihi nidra. What is nidra? It beautifully gives a definition, explanation. Indriya pravartana shrantiya. Because the indriyas have been very active in unwanted things, they become very tired. Sarvendriya pravartana uparatihi. Therefore, all the organs they become too tired and they want a break. That is nidra. Tatra bahyendriya pravartana uparamaha swapnaha manasaha ki uparatihi sushupti. Only the external organs they go to sleep when we dream, but in deep sleep even the mind goes to sleep, says Ramanuja. The mind also ceases to function. Then what he gives the essence of the binding aspect of these three gunas, 9th shloka. Sattam sukhe sanjayati rajah karmani bharata jnanama avrityatu tamaha pramade sanjayatyuta. So sattva binds people with happiness or pleasure, rajas with action, and tama it creates an attachment to negligence by veiling knowledge. Rajas tamaschabi bhuya sattvam bhavati bharata rajas sattvam tamaschaiva tamas sattvam rajastata. Actually, these three are opposing factors: sattvam, rajas, and tamas. How can these three? This is not here, but this is something which is in the Sankhya philosophy. They give an explanation as to how these three can be in one place, because they all compete for the same space. Sattvam, rajas, and tamas. All three have opposing attributes. How can all three of them be at one place? If they are at one place, how can something productive come out of the combination? So here the Sankhya people give an example of how the lamp is there, the oil lamp, the light won't be there. But the right combination of these three, we can see the lamp. We can see the lamp glowing. Like this, they say the three gunas can be present in a body or in prakriti, and yet there can be fruitful action. So here Krishna says the rajas, what it does is sattvam, what it does is it dominates rajas and tamas whenever it wants to act. Then it becomes tired, let us say, then it gives space to the other one of the other two, and then again the third one takes over eventually. That's why in 24 hours, let us say, if we divide our day, some of us may have sattva guna for 2 to 3 hours. In schools and colleges, in office also we can see how much time we are awake. How much time we are awake. Some people would be awake, yet they would be busy doing something else. That is rajoguna. Some people would be awake for a longer time. They would be conscious. They would be really aware of what's happening, working. So now the percentage, it depends on what we nurture. We we become what we eat. I think there is a uh, saying like this: we become what we eat. So that's very true here. So whatever guna we try to nurture in our body, we will be reflecting that only in our actions. Now, 11th shloka. सर्वद्वारेषु देहेऽस्मिन् प्रकाश उपजायते ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात् विवृद्धं सत्त्वमित्युत. So when can we know if somebody possesses sattva? When somebody is dominated by sattva guna, then Krishna says, Sarvadvareshu deheऽस्मिन्, all the indriyas, jnana is formed or he attains jnana. All the indriyas are active. Jnanam yada tada vidyat vivardham sattvam. Therefore, when sattva prevails, knowledge is illuminated. Hello?
I can hear you. Yeah.
I got an indication from Zoom saying that you have been logged out. Something it came. Okay, fine. Hello? Okay. So when we can say whenever knowledge is happening, then sattva is dominating. Lobha pravrittirarambha karmanamashamaspriha pajasya etani jayante vivridhe bhartashabha. In Zoom is not okay. The effect of rajoguna is lobha. Lobha means greed. Pravrittihi means activity. Then karmanam ashamaha means unrest. Shamaha means rest, ceasing. But karmanam ashamaha means lacking rest, working continuously. Then spriha, longing. So these are evident when rajoguna dominates. If we look at our own children, when they attain the age of, until they attain the age of 7, they're so active. At least not all, some of them. The rajoguna is an action. They don't want to take rest. They keep on acting, doing something, this, that, engage in so many things. Ultimately, not productive enough. That's why sometimes it appears to me that in the past they chose the age 7 to be the right time to impart knowledge, because until then it's a very difficult task to make the kids even sit at one place. When we go to the kindergarten or when we go and witness the situation there, I really pity the teachers, because these and that one today, most of the kids, they are nourished properly, vaccinated completely, so no energy loss through ailments, etc. So highly active, eating snacks and other things also highly active, it becomes very difficult to even contain them. Why? Because that Rajo Guna is so dominant in the formative age, which is required, because Rajas means growth, not that bad at that age. That derives that takes care of the growth activity. But anyway, so that is the role of Rajas. We have greed, looking at others, so there is lack of satisfaction. Oh, neighbor has bought something, I have to also buy. So like this. So these are the effects of Rajoguna. And prakashopravartischa pramado moha evacha tamasya etani jayante vivridhe kurunandana. Aprakashaha. We know very well that when people are under the influence of alcohol and other things, nothing, they don't take anything. You won't be able to even uh, make them understand a simple thing. So same with drugs, etc. And naturally also, when we go for some meetings and when the speaker is so blunt and something we're not able to, sometimes people say something is going above the head. So there what happens automatically, sleep is induced. So then at the end of the lecture, if somebody is going to ask us, what did you understand or what did you get? We say nothing. Why? Because aprakasha, apravrittischa, lack of activity, lot of inertia, so not even able to get up from the place and to do something. Pramadaha, this is negligence, and mohaha, viparita jnana. So these are present. That means tamas is dominating. Yada satte pravriddheto pralayam jati deha pratit tado tamavidam lokan amalam pratipadyate. When somebody dies, when the embodied atma, it attains dissolution. When sattva is dominating, then it has every chance of going into higher worlds because of the presence of sattva guna during that time, and because of the fruition of all the punya karmas performed by the atma. Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sankishu jayate tatha pralinas tamasi nidhayomishu jayate. When Rajas is dominant during dissolution, then those beings get formed in those lives which are dominated by doing actions. So sattva guna means eventually they will attain moksha. They are on the path to attain moksha. Rajas means they are born again and again here to do those karma, to enjoy those short-lived fruits like going to Swarga, coming back, so being stuck here. Then tamas means they go down. Like sattva people, they go up. Again, one more shloka, Krishna is going to say this. Tamas means getting the lowly birds. Karmana sukutasyahu satvikam nirmalam phalam rajasastu phalam dukkham ajnanam tamasaphalam. What is the phala of sattvika guna? Karmanaha sukrutasyahu. So the fruits of a good deed, they say, is pure, and this is the nature of sattva. Fruit of rajas is pain, or we can say fruit of sattva guna is pleasure. Rajas is pain, and tamas is ignorance, not even realizing that somebody is in pain. That is the height of tamoguna. Okay. 17. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobha evacha pramada mohu tamaso bhavato jnanam evacha. So here Krishna summarizes that jnana, it arises from sattva guna. When sattva guna is dominating, jnana arises. When rajo guna is dominant, lobha, greed arises. Why? Because greed is one of the important reasons for us action, for our actions. If we are contented with what we have until today, perhaps we won't run tomorrow morning for the sake of acquiring or maintaining the same thing. So that's why rajasaha lobha eva. Pramada moho samatha tamasaha. So from tamas arise negligence and delusion, and therefore ignorance. Urdhvam gachanti sattastha madhye tishtanti rajasaha jaghan yaguna vrittastha adho gachanti tamasaha. Now, this we said just now. So urdhvam gachanti sattastha. Those who are dominated by sattva guna, they go to the higher worlds and eventually they will be led to moksha. They will take an upaya, etc. Rajasaha madhye tishtanti. They also get a chance to go to the higher worlds, but come again to do karma. They get stuck in this manner. Whereas tamoguna, they fall from grace. They acquire lowly births, and then they may end up even getting trapped in prakriti in some achetana objects also, says Ramanuja. Now, page 474, in the middle, ahara visheshehi palabhi sandhi rahita sukruta visheshehi cha paramparaya pravardhita sattvanam gunatyaya dvarena urdhva gamana prakarama. Is it possible to modify the presence of gunas? Is it possible to increase one of them or dominate the, let us say, the unwanted gunas? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. How? Ahara shuddho sattva shuddhi is saying here ahara visheshehi. By focusing on what we eat, and palabhi santi rahita sukruta visheshehi, and also with by doing actions without an attachment for the result, and also due to some punya vishesha also, paramparaya pravadita sattva. Paramparaya means gradually those who are able to increase the sattva guna, they transcend the gunas, and then it's possible for them to uplift themselves. Nanyam gunebhyah kartaram yadadashtana pashyati gunebhyascha param veti madbhavam sodhi gacchati. So when the seer or the jivatma, when he sees that the gunas are in action, so it is important to transcend the gunas. Gunebhyascha param veti, and he knows what transcend the gunas, he attains to my state. My state. एवं सात्विक आहार सेवया फलाभिसन्धि रहित भगवदाराधना रूप कर्मानुष्ठानैः च रजस्तमसि सर्वात्मना अभिभूय. So how to dominate the rajas and tamas? By taking sattvika food, and that also as a prasad after offering to Bhagavan. So we should not eat anything for our sake, but whatever the sattvika food we prepare, so we have to offer that to Bhagavan and then eat it as prasadam. There is ahara niyama which is being followed by many great mahans even today. They don't drink, they don't take coffee, tea, etc. They don't eat anything which is cooked outside. Still, there are some people who are very strict in what they eat and what they drink. Why? Because it is possible to uh, increase the sattva guna, but that does not guarantee the sattva guna of the manas. That alone, body is one aspect especially, but for the mind we need different. For the mind only we need to do this palabhisandhi rahita karma. So that is for the mind actually, and food is essentially for the body, but eventually it can be for the mind also. For the mind, it has to be with the attachment. So guna eva svanuguna pravritishu kartaraha iti pashyati. So one who is able to realize that it is the gunas which are in action and not me. As long as I attach myself to the gunas, then I see myself as the person in action. But when it is evident to me that it is the gunas which are in action, then that person tries to transcend the gunas. By transcending the gunas, he is able to uplift himself, eventually going to, let's say, moksha or attain the bhava of Bhagavan. Page 475, Ramanuja says, Katrabhyo gunebhyaha anyam akartaram atmanam pashyanya bhagavad bhavam adhigacchati iti uttam. So bhagavad bhavaha kidushaha ityatra. So it is said in the 19th shloka that it is possible to attain the bhava of Bhagavan by transcending the gunas. But what exactly is that state of Bhagavan? Gunana etana tityatrin tehi dehasam udbhavan janna mrityujara dukkhe vimukto mritamashpute. So he is able to overcome, he is able to free himself from janma, birth, death, old age, and dukkha, and sorrow, and pain. So these four are the bothering fact. Interestingly, today I was listening to watching one other video which is forwarded. An ISKCON devotee was quoting this shloka only today, incidentally. Janna mrityu jara dukkaihi vimukto amritamashpute. The topic was that how to overcome stress in a Tamil program. So it was a short video. So the ISKCON devotee, when he quoted the Bhagavad Gita, he said, one has to study Bhagavad Gita to de-stress oneself. Why? Because he says, Gita was, the Upadesha of Gita was given exactly when Arjuna was stressed. And he beautifully described the state of stress and so how Arjuna was physically, he showed that he was under stress. So that ISKCON devotee, he shared all these things and then he finally ended up with the shloka saying, these are the four ultimate bothering things. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Dukkha. All these can be overcome provided we take care of the gunas. Now, 476. Atha gunatītasya swarupa suchanacara prakaram guna atyaya hetam cha prichanna Arjuna. Arjuna wants to know about the characters for the one who has transcended the gunas. Like how he asked about Siddha Prajna in the second chapter. Here is asking, how would one behave if he or she has transcended the gunas? And how and what is the means to acquire such a transcendent level? Arjuna uvacha Kailinga istingunan etan atito bhavati prabho imachara katam chaitan stringunanati vartate. So the question is straightforward. What are the marks of a person who has crossed these gunas? What is his behavior, acharaha? And how does he etan three gunan ativartate? Katham ativartate? How is he able to transcend the three gunas? Sri Bhagavanuvacha Prakasham cha pravrittim cha mohameva cha pandava natveshti sapravrttani na nivrttani kankshati. Actually, he says all three are safe for the jnani. Illumination, that is acquiring knowledge, indulging in action, or be getting deluded. All these three are the same for jnanis. So they are not after anything, not even the sattva also. Atma Vitrikteshu Vastushu Anishteshu Sampravrittani Saprajastamasam Karyani Prakasha Pravritti Mohakhyani Yona Dveshti Tata Atma Vitrikteshu Ishteshu Vastushu Tani Yepe Nivattani Chapna Kanksha. So he knows that the three gunas, they operate in the domain where the Atma Jnana is not involved. All the three are they operate in the level of Prakriti only. So he does not hate, or he is not attached to them also, not dveshti. So he does not get involved in the process, or what he does is that nivrittani kankshati. He does not desire for them when they stop, when the actions of gunas stop. So if they are, I mean, when the gunas are in action, he does not resist, or he does not hate the result. At the same time, when they stop also, he does not long for them to continue. What the meaning is that he knows that the gunas are in action, so he has to be unperturbed by those actions. That is the point here. Udasina vadasino gunaryona vicharyate guna vartanta ityeva yogatishthati nengate. So udasinama irkan. In terms of we say udasinama irkan, vitetiya irkadu. Not bothered about that all, not perturbed at all. So the person who has transcended the gunas, he is like a unconcerned, undisturbed by the gunas. The gunas are in action. That's what he would say. The gunas are in action. There are some Mahatmas today who refer to the body as only this. They say this is hungry, so I have to put something to eat for it to eat. So those are people who do vyavahara. They won't say I am hungry. People like me will say, I am hungry. But there are still some Mahatmas who say, this needs something to eat, so let me put something for that and come. Fill it with something and come. So that is the level of jnanis. Body requires something, that's it. Samadukha sukha svastaha samaloftashma kanchanaha tulya priya priyo dhiras tulya nindatma samsutihi. So who looks at pain and pressure in a same form, who is swastaha means staying in oneself. That means not looking at things outside. So happy with the Atmajnana. Samaloftashma kanchana. So gold or mud, it does not bother. It does not run after gold, or it does not Vesha. It does not show any dislike for the mud also. So this is where we have to look at the acharyas like Vedanta Deshika and other great acharyas who never were attracted by gold or wealth. Tulya Priya Apriya. So he is the same towards things which are dear to him and not dear to him. And more than all these things, he is intelligent and who regards both blame and praise as equal. He is not carried away when people praise him. In this world, so many smart people who come and praise us. Oh, you are such a great person. They say all these good words, and then they come up with some obligation. So we will be forced to help them. He spoke such nicely about me. Some people will find some fault with us. So a person who has transcended the gunas is not affected by these things. Mana pamanayo tulyaha tulyo mitrari pakshayoh sarvarambha parityagi gunatitassa uchyate. So either it's mana or apamana, honor or dishonor, he is not better. and he is the same to his friend and foe, and he has abandoned all the activities which are because of the three gunas. That's more important, because he would still be involving himself in acquiring the strength in the Atma Jnana. So he, you can say, has transcended the three gunas. मां च योग्यविचारेण भक्तियोगेन सेवते सगुणान् समतीत्येतान् ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते. So Krishna says now, Atha evam rupa gunatye pradana hetu ma. What is the main reason now? Mam cha yaha abhyabhicharena. Vyabhichara means a dosha. Abhyabhichara means without any fault, without any distraction. Bhakti yogena sevate. Here uses the word bhakti yoga. One who serves me with the bhakti yoga, he transcends or he crosses the gunas. And Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. He becomes fit for the state of Brahman. Here again, let us look at Ramanuja's commentary. Nanyam gunebhya kartaram ityadina uktena prakrityatma vivekana sandhana matrena na gunatyaha sampatsate. Nanyam gunebhya kartaram. So it is the gunas which are the action. There is nothing beyond the gunas which is reason for the action. Prakriti Atma Viveka Anusandhana Matrena. So that person, he does Anusandhana means he reflects constantly on the different natures of Prakriti and Purusha. Therefore, he is able to cross the gunas. Tasya Anadikala Pravrta Viparita Vasana Badhyatma Sambhavat. So therefore, all the vasanas, they get affected of this person because he is able to, he has attained such a state to transcend the gunas. Mam means what? Mam cha yaha. The shloka says, so Ramanuja says for Mam, Satya Sankalpam Paramakarnikam Ashita Vatsalya Jaladhim. Very important, right? Because Bhagavan is not only Para, he is not only the most superior because he has Satya Sankalpa, etc., but he has mercy. He has Karuna, Paramakarnikam. Therefore, anybody can resort to him. And the moment they resort to him, what does he not give? Which means he gives everything. Abhyabhicharena aikantya vishishtena, without longing for nothing else, anything other than Krishna. Ovan Govindare, which means for the sake of, why do they worship Krishna? Because to attain him only, not to attain anything else. Yah sevate sa etan satvadin gunan duratyayan. He is able to transcend these gunas. Atitya Brahma Bhuyaya, Brahmatvaya Kalpate. Brahma Bhuyaya means Brahmatvaya. What does it again mean? Brahma Bhava Yogyo Bhavati. He is fit to enjoy the state of Brahman. Yathavasitam Atmanam Amritam Abhyayam Prapnati. So he is able to enjoy his own self because that self, the Atma Anubhava, that is what is immortal and immutable. Brahmano hi pratisthaham amritasyabhya yasya cha shashvatasya dharmasya sukasya ikantikasya cha. Brahmana hi pratishtha aham. He says, I am the ground of the Brahman. Amritasya abhyayasya cha, that immortal and immutable. Shashvatasya cha dharmasya. Shashvata dharma is a eternal dharma. Sukasya aikantikasya, and of perfect bliss. I am the substratum for all these things. What are these? Ramanuja says, He Shabdo Hetu. Every letter has to be accounted for. While writing commentary, every letter has to be accounted for. So Brahmano he means naturally sometimes we say indeed, Nishayam. But here Ramanuja says it is the reason. Brahmano hi. Why? Because I am the Yasmatu aham abhyabhichari bhakti yogena sevitaha. He says, why? Because I have been worshipped by that person with aikantika buddhi. Amritasya abhyayasya cha brahmanaha pratishtha tata shashvatasya cha dharmasya atichayita nitya aishvaryasya aikantikasya sukasya cha vasudevaha sarvam ityadina nirdishtasya jnaninaha prapyasya sukasya ityartha. So it has been already said by Ramanuja in Krishna in Vasudeva Sarvamiti Mahatma Sudurlavaha. For such a person, I become the basis for all these things. Yadyapi Shashvata Dharma Shabdaha Prapaka Vachanaha Tatapi Purvottarayoho Prapya Rupatpena Tasya Tat sahacharyate ayamapi prapya lakshakah. Now, Shashvata Dharma actually it means the means. Shashvata Dharma means it's a means. It cannot come in the end actually. See, Upaya and Upeya. Just like how the ladder or the boat is Upaya, but after we cross, nobody carries the ladder or the boat on their shoulders. So here Shashvata Dharma means it is a Prapaka Vachana, which means which is used as a means to attain. But here, that's what the Sampradaya says. Bhagavan's divine feet are both Prapaka and Prapya. Bhagavan's divine feet are both Prapaka and Prapya. They make us attain Bhagavan. After attaining Bhagavan, we are supposed to serve them only. So in that way, we can say Prapya Rupatvena Satsacharyat. So it is going to come in that state also. Or that is Sampradaya. Philosophically also, we want to say something that he has attained such a level of the Brahma Anubhava, which is only going to come in the liberation also. He is not going to get some other Anubhava. So the same thing only. Therefore, that way, there is no harm in saying Shashvata Dharma. Edaduttam Bhavati, Purvatra Daivishi Esha Gunamayi, Mamamaya Duratya, Mame Vaye Prapadyante, Ityarabhya, Gunatyasya, Tat Purvaka Akshara Ishvarya Bhagavat Prapti Namcha, Bhagavat Prapatyeko Payatayaha, Pratipatyatvate, Tadekanta Bhagavat Prapatyeko Payo, Gunatyaha, Tat Purvaka Brahma Bhavaha. So this has to be said, says Ramanuja. He summarizes the Mamevaya Prapatyante, he says, whoever resort to me. So seeking surrender to the Lord with one pointed mind is the only means for transcending the gunas and also for the attainment of the state of Brahman throughout. Therefore, here we can say Prapatti is being hinted here. Here, resorting to Bhagavan is being hinted as an upaya in two ways. One is by being an anga to Bhakti Yoga, other one is by being a direct means. There are two means, upaya accepted by Vishitadvaita, Bhakti Yoga and Prapatti. Bhakti Yoga also needs Prapatti. Bhakti Yoga is the Angi main, the primary means for which Prapatti is an Anga. Wherever we are not able to go high, get into higher states of Bhakti Yoga, Prapatti helps. But Acharyas also say that Prapatti can independently be an upaya for getting moksha itself. Rather than playing a subsidiary role to Bhakti Yoga with many pramanas from Agama and Upasana pramana also, Acharyas maintain that this Prapatti can very well get moksha itself. So here there's a hint which Bhagavan himself gives about resorting to him to transcend the gunas and also the state of Brahman, whichever is referring to here, the Brahma Bhuya. So for that also we can resort to Bhagavan to overcome the three gunas. So with this, the 14th chapter is over. We will look at the 15th chapter in the next session. As usual, just read the first few words of commentary so as to keep the continuity going. 482. Kshetradhyaye Kshetra Kshetranya Bhutayoho Prakriti Purushayoho Swarupam Vishodhya Vishuddhasya Aparichinna Jnanekakarasya Eva Purushasya Prakrita Guna Sangha Pravaha Nimitto Devadhyakara Parinata Prakriti Sambandha Anadihi Ityukta. We'll see the meaning in the next session. Now we end the session here and leave the forum open. Shri Guru Namaha. Yes, others.
You can hear me, right? Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. So in that 14th chapter, so Bhagavan tells in 3 shlokas the gati of the people who cultivate the gunas, the sattva, rajas, and tamas guna in 3 shlokas. Like sattva, so those who die during their sattva guna, they go to urdhva lokas. But generally, when like dying when sattva guna means is it like dying when he is in a meditative state?
No, that's what we
what
saw.
does it
No,
mean?
sattva guna, the how would a person behave when he has sattva guna? That Krishna has already said. Not only meditation. That shloka, let me take and tell you. Sattvam sukhe not that.
During this when he leaves his body.
No. See, sattva guna is not only about meditating. That's why I said no. Sattva guna. I'm just looking at the one shloka. Sarvadvareshu dehasmin prakasha upajayate jnanam yada tata vidyat vivardham sattvam ityuta. So, sattva guna means that person, he possesses the capability to acquire knowledge. Okay, that is the most. Therefore, he is happy also. That is the nature of the sattva guna. Sattva guna does not guarantee moksha, but sattva guna puts that person on the platform to go into higher levels of existence. When we say knowledge, the knowledge here, of course, because Krishna says he has to transcend all the gunas, that knowledge is mostly material.
Okay.
It can help him with spiritual knowledge also, but in general he is saying sattva guna means, that's why I gave the example of, I don't know if you had joined that time, that's why I gave an example of, we see a lot of people who acquire so many degrees, who keep on studying and are contented with that. If you look at the not the present judges, I don't know about the, I'm not the best person to judge the judges, but there are some people in the judiciary, etc. They keep studying all the scriptures, they keep studying all the books and etc. They're contented with that. Why they're able to do? That's because of the sattva guna. So by saying a person is sattva guna, we can say he has some extent he has controlled his senses.
Okay.
Therefore, that gives an opportunity for him to reach the higher worlds.
That is, and when like the shloka says like this, right? That like during his time of his death, if his sattva is in a higher state, that time he goes. So during the death, sattva guna is in the higher state. What does that mean exactly? Like when the person is dying,
He would okay. Let me give the opposite example. That person will not be agitated. He does not have any unfulfilled desires, etc. He is not worried about giving up some activities because he has started them. Imagine
okay,
a business person who has a lot of ventures is going to die. So how would he be feeling like? That would not be the case with Sattva person.
okay, one who dies peacefully, basically.
Exactly, peacefully,
So
because he is dominated by Sattva. He is not worrying about how a Rajoguna person, a Tamoguna person will be worrying about.
okay. And the tamoguna person, maybe like we can think of like people who die in the coma state.
Unfortunately, they won't be even knowing about their pain also. That's the state of Tamoguna, extreme Tamoguna.
Kind of.
Yes, but let us not because so often now people die in hospitals. Sorry to say such words here. In the past, people used to die at home. So people, at least when we are young, we could witness people dying, how death happens. But today, either you are good or bad, healthy, unhealthy, if you go to hospital, people don't return these days. So we don't know when exactly the prana leaves also. So that's where all these issues are there. Yeah. Okay.
And then one more small question, sir.
Yeah.
Like when the tamoguna person dies, he goes to the low Moda Yoni. Like, does he go to the world like Talavitala Sutala Patala, or does he go into the womb of animals, plants, or rocks? Does he become a rock, or can someone be born as a rock?
Yeah, here
Or
Ramanuja, I don't know if you read the commentary of Ramanuja, that's why I didn't go into that particularly. So Ramanuja says that it is possible for people to slip into such levels, that they would be caught in even achetana beings. So they have to wait for the actual prayer to come and dissolve everything. See,
okay.
it is very difficult to apply logic and actually see the practical part of it. But the idea is that eventually that jiva, which is possessed by tamoguna, will keep dropping in the ladder of birth. So there is a possibility that he gets caught in some parts of Prakriti that he won't be getting any birth at all, which means his jnana would be so low. He won't be able to experience any pain or pleasure. But he has to wait for the next real dissolution to come and then be freed from that aspect of Prakriti. That's what he means in his commentary. And but here, one thing what I want to say is that in the Madhva Sampradaya, Madhvacharya, he uses these shlokas of Gita to say that there is a permanent hell. So all these Tamo people, dominated people, will eventually go to the hell, which is beyond Srishti, he says. So next time they don't have any opportunity to come into the real world now. So they will be ever, as we say, that Patala, wherever that Patala Loga or any hell is there, he would go there and he or she would be there only without redemption.
That is a question where I was coming to. Like, is there a difference between the Naraka and Patala, or is Naraka Patala?
Okay. See,
in Garuda Purana, there are Narakas described.
Okay. See,
Then
my
yeah.
Let me tell you my honestly, let me give me a viewpoint. I'm a person who always tries to approach things with logical nursing. So I don't get into Puranas much. Why? Because in Puranas there are so many contrary views and these things. It's very difficult to even take them literally also. So I have not bothered myself to trying to understand about Patala and hell, etc. So I'm not able to answer your question.
Actually, even in Upanishads it is there. Like Ishavasya Upanishad also it is there. Like those who commit suicide. And even in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says.
No, Naraka is there, but Patala is there. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm not denying Naraka or Patala, but I have not devoted much time to understand where exactly they are. What is it? Is Naraka equal to Patala, etc. I'm just saying it has not been my focus area until now. So in case I get any input about them in the future, I'll be sharing.
So no, what I was like thinking is they could be like since we accept that Atma can be in any like whichever form a Jivatma will be there inside, isn't it?
Oh, can you come back? I didn't get you.
Like as per our philosophy, Jivatma can be in any like whichever wherever there is a shape and form a name. So there is a Jivatma, isn't it?
Yeah.
Namarupa.
Yes.
So couldn't the interior earth, like what the Puranas describe as a Patala and all those things, they say the place where metals are like precious minerals,
can
like
be
gold.
Can be. See,
so it can be that inner earth, inner earth.
Can
like
be.
Wherever that mantle is, a core mantle and all those things.
That's what it can be, but what is below? Is it below earth or inside the earth and all? We do not know. See, the Puranas say
places are far away from the solar system, so it will be very like you cannot see the sun. The sun light itself doesn't penetrate.
That's what the Puranas only say, that there are earth means what? Is it this bhumi as such, or it's a top mantle and all? We do not know. We're not yet very sure about it. At least I'm not sure about them. 7 lokas above, 7 lokas below means, is it below the crust or it below the earth? We don't know. So yeah, we can keep it as a separate topic of discussion. Yeah, but it's good to know where we can compare. Thank you.
Okay, I was thinking about that because it's there in like this question keeps
possible. That what you say is also possible. Maybe because we do not know yet. See, every day with the new discovery now they say the mantle of the earth is not be understood as before. It is moving. It is like so many things keep coming up, and that's why I said in the lecture also that today it's very difficult to even. I'm wondering if it's really possible to differentiate or separate life from non-life. Maybe we won't be able to.
Yeah, I saw in your.
Yeah. Yeah. So yes, what you say could be right. Yes, Radhika.
Thank you.
Can you hear me, Madhya?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were saying giving up all this, this coffee, tea, and other things that to develop sattva guna wouldn't have actually an impact on the intellect. Was that what you're saying? If the mind is different and developing, giving up all these to develop sattva guna is different?
No. What I meant was, what I meant was, it's an irony that people see everybody is human being. Okay, so what I wanted to say was that even people who have maintain so much of purity in the way they dress and eat, yet in their the way their minds operate, we can see them suffering from the influence of rajoguna. That's what I wanted to say. Though food is one of the factors to overcome the presence of gunas, but what I said is that for the mind, it is more than the food. That's what I meant. I did not mean that just by giving up coffee, one can. No, that was not the intention. What I meant to say is that Ramanuja also says two things here. One is ahara shuddhi, other one is anabhita palabhi santi rahita karma. So that is for the mind. That's to train the mind to allow it to be dominated by sattva guna. But for that to happen, we have to begin with the body. Food is one of the most important things for the body to become pure. That's what I said.
So,
but yeah.
So it does lead to the intellect, right? I mean, it
Not
does contribute.
Yeah, not intellect. Intellect means buddhi, but mind as it. See, definitely mind and body are related. But still we see that those, the point was that there are still, we can see some people who seem to be very pure in their body related aspects. Maybe we don't their mind is not pure as we expect them to be. That's a remark that I passed, but that may be taken out of the discussion. Like in the assemblies, they say expunging of remarks, so that could be removed from the discussion. So to be clear, to sum it up, the gunas can be controlled by us by way of eating proper food and by doing karma without eyeing on the fruit of the karma. So that's the point here. Hello?
Dhanyavada.
Yeah, okay. What I meant to say is that people with pure mind or good mind, they are found even if their body is impure or the food that they eat is impure also. That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to say. The one does not guarantee. It looks like one does not guarantee that because examples of other, but we can't generalize that. For a general thing, we have to admit that right food, it does have an impact on the gunas. That's the general point that I want to stress. But there are exceptions. That's it.
Mama, when you explain how food will increase sattva guna in the person, you said something about sattva guna in the body increasing, but not the mind. How is it different?
Okay, I think that became very important. We were all attentive during that time. No. See, exceptions I was trying to point out, but maybe that's what I'm saying. That remark may be deleted from this discussion. I will perhaps share it privately. What I said is that there are exceptions. It looks that the sattva guna or the ahara shuddhi and everything that a person adopts, for some people it does not reflect in the mind. That's what I'm trying to say. But it's only about exceptions. So let me repeat. Let me restate what I said. That by taking care of the food that we eat, okay, it obviously improves the sattva guna of the body. By doing phalabhi santi rahita karma and having bhakti in Krishna, we can also attain the purity of mind. That means we can allow the sattva guna to operate in the mind. That's the point. That's Krishna's point, elaborated by Ramanuja and explained by Sreeram. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll meet again on Friday. Dhanyavadaha.
Dhanyawad.
Namo Namo.
Namo.